Okay, Coach. Before we look ahead to next year, can you give me some reflection on last year's team, what it meant to the program and what it meant to you personally?
Well, first of all, I would say I had a blast, and I think the players did too. We started out the season not being in the top 25. I think our players were very focused not only in getting into the top 25, but the top 10, get into the NCAA tournament, try to win an ACC championship and a national championship, and they were very focused. And we got off to a great start, and after our first 5 games, we were in the top 15, which was very nice, but then we lost a tough game at home to Northeastern, and it looked like, uh-oh, very, very similar start to the year before. But instead, we bounced back, played really, really good basketball, and ended up with 1 game remaining in the race for the ACC regular season championship. We were tied with North Carolina. And unfortunately, we lost our last regular season game and ended up tied for second rather than in first or tied for first. But then I thought we played very well in the NCAA tournament, making it to the Sweet 16, where we ran into a red-hot Villanova team. And just like everybody else that the Villanova Wildcats played, we just were not able to maintain pace with them and lost a tough ball game to a team playing great.
Was it satisfying to you that Villanova went on to win the national championship? Did it kind of make you feel like maybe Miami was the second best team in the country?
Well, I didn't look at it that way. I just felt like Villanova earned their national championship. They not only beat us, but they beat North Carolina in the national championship game, and one of the best college games of the season, if not the best. And I enjoyed watching them because I thought they played great team basketball. I thought Jay Wright did a fantastic job, he and his staff, of preparing his team for each and every opponent. They played great defense, they rebounded the ball well, they shared the ball on offense and executed. Against us, they made some incredible three-point shots. I thought we offensively played very well, and we just couldn't keep pace with them.
Yeah, that shot by Chris Jenkins was incredible.
Yes, right
And
before the half was.
kind of foreshadowed the end of the national championship game in a way too.
Exactly.
It's pretty interesting. Coach, next thing I want to ask you, do you take a lot of personal satisfaction in watching guys like Tanya and Sheldon and Angel and Yvonne grow as individuals, not just as basketball players?
Well, I see myself as an educator. I like to see kids learn, improve, get better in all facets of their athletic life, their academic life, and their life away from basketball socially. And I think all of those guys did that during their time here. So yes, I'm very proud of all of them.
Excellent. Coach, how has the success of the team helped you in recruiting? Now, I won't ask you specific players, but are you getting a lot more interest now that Miami's been having so many successful seasons?
Well, I think we've always had the interest because people find the city of Miami very appealing. But the interest, I think, has become more sincere with the more success that we've had. And when we won the ACC championship in 2013, that created a buzz. At the start of this year, when we sold out the arena before the season ever began and every seat was sold out, that was another buzz that went around town and around the country that Miami has elevated its basketball program and is going to be a program to be reckoned with for a long time to come.
Coach, I want to talk about some of the new guys that maybe, some of our fans haven't had a chance to see other than maybe YouTube videos. Talk to me first about DeJuan Huell. What is his game? What does he bring to the table as a player?
Well, the first thing is DeJuan's a local product from Norland High School, and he won 3 state championships out of 4. He's 6'9" or 10, weighs about 215, 220 pounds. He's long, he's athletic, he plays very hard. He's an excellent defender, he's an excellent rebounder, he's an excellent shot blocker. Offensively, he is someone who can really run the floor well, catches lob dunks, dunks the ball off of driving layups, can hit a perimeter jump shot once in a while, and that's a part of his game that we want to help him develop because we feel like eventually he'll be a player who will play in the NBA. How soon, we don't know that. That'll probably depend on just how quickly he can develop physically, because at 215 or 20 pounds, he's probably gonna need to get to 230 or 40 before he's physically strong enough to battle the big boys in the NBA.
And that's a good problem to have if you have to worry about players leaving early, obviously, so it's not a bad thing. How about Bruce Brown? Is he more of a two guard? Is he going to play a little one? What do the fans need to know about him?
Bruce Brown, I think, is very similar to a Duran Scott, for those people who followed our Miami basketball program during his years. He's 6'4", 5", weighs just over 200 pounds. He's a relentless defender, a very, very hard worker, a tremendous competitor. If you ask me his number one skill strength, it's his ability to compete in every aspect of the game. He can drive the ball to the basket, he can shoot outside, he is an offensive rebounder who will dunk a rebound. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's someone that I think our fans will love watching play because of how hard he plays every single game.
And would you say, though, I mean, I've seen, a good bit of his clips. He's extremely athletic, you'd say, right? I mean, he's like an above-the-rim player.
Well, I compared him, and this is not what I want to do to a freshman, but
Yeah.
think of Russell Westbrook.
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody with that kind of run and jump talent. That's what he reminds me of.
That's kind of what
And
I'm
that's
supposed to
Sheldon
be,
McClellan, too.
Yeah.
Our fans have had the pleasure of watching Sheldon the last 2 seasons, and Sheldon is very, very fast, very athletic. I would say Bruce is just a more aggressive version.
I'm glad you brought up Sheldon because that transitions nicely to what I wanted to ask you. How do you feel Tanya, Angel, and Sheldon are being perceived by NBA scouts leading up to the draft? Do you think they're...
Well, I think Sheldon is doing fantastic in all his interviews. I'm getting great feedback. A lot of teams like him. Because of his age, he's 23 years old now, he's not likely to be a first-round draft pick. Some people, I think, will look at him in the first round. But the NBA owners and general managers tend to draft young. So there'll be a lot of one-and-dones drafted in the first round. But I think Sheldon will be drafted, probably sometime in the second round. I think he'll be in the NBA next year. Angel, on the other hand, at his size, it's not his age, but his size that kind of works against him. But we're getting great feedback on how his interviews are going. So he has a bunch of people who are interested in him, and if they don't draft him, I think they'll invite him in for a free agent tryout. And then Tanya the same way. I think there's a lot of teams that have been very impressed with him during the interview process. And I'm talking about he's interviewed with like 15 or 20 teams.
Yeah.
And after that, his stock has risen. So he's not necessarily going to get drafted. If he does, that's great. If he doesn't, there are going to be plenty of teams vying for his services in this summer league as a free agent.
Coach, I want to ask you about one of your top returning players, Devon Reed. How underrated do you feel he is in the ACC, and what does he need to do to take his game to even the next level as a senior this year?
Well, I don't know if he is underrated. I don't know how others rate him. I just know he's been basically a 3-year starter. He's going to now be a 4-year starter. He averages double figures. He's a very efficient player. In all likelihood, he's probably going to be our leading scorer. He's someone that can shoot the three, he can drive to the basket, he's athletic, he's a very good defender, he's a very solid rebounder. He shoots a good percentage from the foul line. So I think he's in for a very, very good senior year.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Coach, this next segment is just going to be real brief. I'm just going to mention a few things. I just want you to give me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Like a hit and run type segment. Jack Curran.
Best coach in America, ever.
Shane Larkin.
Oh, fantastic point guard. I love him.
The Bank United Center.
Now that it's sold out, this is one tough home court to play in.
The University of Miami fans for basketball.
Growing year after year.
StateoftheU.com.
Great website. Everybody should log on at least once a day.
Thank you so much. Coach, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate it, though. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for meeting with us.